Da, tomorrow, fire streaks the heavens. Shoja, Duro, battle has begun.
SuvwIpu! It is Lieutenant Commander Kevash Sutai Reshtok, the commanding officer of the IKV Veklar Bay, out of Jacksonville, Florida, Callahan, Florida, Northeast Florida. And I want to do a brief review of the uniform that I just recently purchased from Lotahk Cosplay store on eBay, and I'll go ahead and add a link down here or over here, or one of those places. But for our brothers and sisters in CAG, the Klingon Assault Group, I thought I would do a brief rundown of what you get when you purchase this and what needs to be worked on, and then to explain what we're going to do to change some of these things around. Our quartermaster, Philip Newton, will then come on, and I'll move off. And he is a tailor extraordinaire. I can't sew. I know how things should look. I know how I want things to look. And I say, Faye, because that's another name we call him. Faye, can you do? I don't really know how to. It kind of looks like and sort of, and then he knows exactly what I'm talking about. So let's get into the nitty and the gritty. So for about $179, because it includes free shipping. Well, as you well know, there's nothing that's free except, well, no, STDs. That's not really free because you paid for it. So, but here's what you get. And I don't want to take all of this down because it'll fall and it'll be crazy. But I might move some things around and show you what all you get. So, you'll kick. So let me move this out of the way. Okay, when you first open the package, it comes shipped from Hong Kong, or Xiangang, for those of you who are 会说普通话. So, not just Klingon, yeah, no, polyglot. So, when you open the package, it's kind of heavy. The packaging paper is very thin, and actually I was concerned because when I picked it up from the post office today, there was a rip in the bag, and I thought, oh, great, Kalis's toenails, things are going to be missing, and it's going to be, well, it's triple packaged, so the packaging on it is very good. The time frame on it was, and this is where I have to ask my Parmakai because we don't do bloopers here on the Veklar Bay. I ordered this when?
Last month?
Last month? 3 to 4 weeks ago? And was pleasantly surprised when it arrived sooner than I thought it would, because there's a function coming up. Marge! My Parmakai likes to throw things on the floor, as every good Klingon female should. So, when you open the package, you're going to notice a couple of things. The accessories that it comes with, if you're really into authenticity and making things look really, really, really good, not so much. One of the accessories that it does come with that I think that's really neat is it comes with a disruptor holster. The holster itself is pretty well constructed. I was impressed with the construction. It even comes with the little loops. But it comes with a cheap lame cording material. And more about this material when our quartermaster takes up the video. But the construction on it is really good. If you look at the seams on the inside, it's stitched together fairly well. It's not going to come apart anytime soon. And so for a holster, so with the costume you also get the holster, which was sort of a bonus that I didn't know if it came with it or not, but it was shown in the picture. But as you well know, sometimes eBay, well, it's eBay, and sellers are sellers, I should say that. The next accessory that it comes with is the gloves, which, I mean, they're made out of a stretchy, spandexy, bike short kind of material. And they're okay, but they don't have the spikes on them. And, you would just have to attach those. And again, most of these accessories are quartermaster because he sews, and I don't know what things are called. So he knows what you would need to do to salvage these. And you also get a few other things. You get a belt, which is, it fastens in the back with Velcro, which is not very impressive. The belt buckle that it comes with is not so much a buckle as another piece of vinyl with some flat buttons sewn on with a gold trim. So for a beginning person, for let me say this, for someone who just wants to adopt their warrior persona and begin to speak and act as a Klingon and really want to look decent, maybe not as attention to detail as we are, but they want to look decent and they want to look recognizable, this is a perfectly good outfit, especially for $179. But you do get what you pay for. The belt itself, it's a piece of vinyl with Velcro in the back and some buttons sewn in. So really nothing impressive with this. Now the gauntlets, I was torn on this. The gauntlets that it comes with are not, good made gauntlets, but they're not bad either. These are actually somewhere in the middle. They are lightweight. They go on fairly simple, even with the fur, but they come with this weird, bizarre gold oblong, whatever this is, piece of, I don't know, fate will be able to tell you about this, but we've also found a solution around this. So if you want to wear these with this, you could, especially if you're a beginner and you don't already have gauntlets made. But they're not bad. They actually have a neat tiered, I guess you'd say, but 3-section, here you can't see it in this camera, but here in the front. And there's neat stitching in the back and this, that, and the other. They're actually not hot to wear. So what I think we're going to do with these is one of the other uniforms that I have, we're going to make this, at conventions, there's sort of the ongoing thing where you have, classic series Sundays. Well, what I'm probably going to do is use these for a classic series hybrid, sort of like a human fusion from the FASA games. When I don't want to put on the full headpiece and all of the makeup and everything like that, and I just want to go to a con and be comfortable. Or if we have a semi-uniformed event, and we live in Florida and I don't want to, die from heat exhaustion, then I may do more of a classic series Klingon and use these gauntlets. They are not the best quality. They're not the quality that our quartermaster does, but they are passable, and they are by no means bad. They're quite good for coming with all of this. They're quite good. Now here's the part I know that you're waiting for. This is the part that I was most excited for. The fur sleeves. Yes, this is the right type of fur. You've heard me talk about, it's not so good. This is the exact right type of fur. It's a medium to long artificial black fur. It comes with ribbed sleeves, which is convenient. There's some uniforms that I've seen that just end with the fur. And to me, I never liked those because when you put your gauntlets on, then you have to go up under the gauntlets and pull the fur down. This alleviates that. Just like when you're putting on a suit coat or a jacket, you can hold on to the sleeve and put your arms through without losing, without it feeling funky on your arm. Another interesting thing about this, I will say this: the construction of the armor itself, for $179, it's worth this alone. Newton and I, or Fate, you'll hear me use those words interchangeably. We literally looked at this all the way around in the back and noticed, damn, that's pretty good work. And it helps him a lot because that's one less uniform or one less type of armor he has to make for me. But he is rewarded in other ways. So this is wonderful. It does not come with the spines in the back, which is fine because most of the time for this particular uniform, I'll be wearing a command cloak in a deep, deep, deep wine color. So that will be fine. This is attached. The shoulder piece is attached to the vest or to the armor itself. And there are some modifications to the flaps of the arm pieces that we're going to do. And again, Newton will tell you about all that. The neck tube, for what it is, the neck tube is amazing. And there is going to be a modification. The neck tube comes, it's Velcroed in the back. And since you're going to have a headpiece and your hair on anyway, they're not going to see the Velcro. The gold piece here is, I don't even know what fabric this is. It's not a lame, but it's just a little piece of gold fabric that's sewn around.
Gold foil.
Gold foil. Yeah. This is going to be modified, and again, Newton will tell you why and how. Now here's the weirdest part about the whole thing. I'm not quite sure, but if you look at the undershirt, which incidentally, this fabric is sewn on, or the furry sleeves are sewn onto the undershirt fabric. It's one piece with a zipper behind the neck. It's houndstooth. It's a houndstooth pattern that from about 5 to 6 feet away looks pretty good. When you do get up closer, you can clearly tell that it's houndstooth. And I'm almost wondering if the extras weren't given shirts with like a houndstooth pattern, because it looks good on camera and it looks like the shimmery, sequiny material for the undershirts without having to put all of the detail in. Well, we're going to change this. You know what I'm going to say next. So, it also comes, let me put the bloodline down. Something else that I was really impressed with. I'll go ahead and take it down. You can see the back. Here's the flap, and there will be some changes to it. But here is the armor. It's actually not that bad, and I apologize because our camera here is not. You really can't see how pretty this really is. The interesting thing too is it comes with, and I couldn't figure out what the hell this standy up piece was for until I realized this is where the neck tube will sit. And if you can fold it down, and it doesn't matter because, again, your headpiece and hair will cover this weird standy up thing. The pants that it comes with, now this I was really, 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 really impressed with. The pants that it comes with actually has the proper pleating down the front and even in that diagonal on the side, right about here. When you have your boots on, you're only going to see from about your knee up, and then the armor from about where your knee starts to where the armor ends. And the pants are nice. They look heavy, but it's actually a nice suit fabric material, so it feels like it's gonna breathe. And that's important for warriors in Florida or the South in general, because it gets 9,000 degrees hotter than the hottest day on Vulcan here. So overall, for $179, you really cannot go wrong. Is it the most accurate and, truest form of armor? No. But it's $179. Sure, if you want to pay $695, $800, $1,050, you can get, dead on accurate. I didn't put my sash with this because I wanted to show you what exactly comes with all of this. And like I said, for $179, you cannot go wrong with this. And it's Lotakh's eBay store doesn't just sell this variation. I believe he sells the variation with the chest tube connector, and then he sells a weird version that I've not really seen before, but I might buy it just for the pants and to piece things together, because the pants are almost a dark chocolate, and there are a couple of outfits that I'm planning on having made in the future that would use some of that color scheme. So, but for what it is, I would say altogether, from 1 being the crappiest thing I've ever seen in my life to 10 being holy shit, Paramount made this, or the costumers on Next Gen or whatever made this. The whole package, I would say, like a 4 for the whole package. Now, for the armor specifically, with this one flaw, and the shirt itself, which is a fairly easy mod, this I would give like a straight 6, as is out of the package, a 6 out of 10, because when you see, and again, the camera really can't show you, but the stitching on this is absolutely gorgeous. It really is a nice garment and worthy of the $179. And if you think about that, you not only get this, which only takes slight modification, but you get a fairly good Sunday gauntlets that are lighter. They're not as stiff as the good vinyl ones, and they'll breathe a little bit better. You could even use these as presentation gauntlets. If you got a couple of these or whatever for your crew, you could use these as presentation gauntlets to new members to get them excited. Well, we here on the Veklar Bay have another interesting idea as far as gauntlets and new members, and Faye can tell you about that too. But these could be used as presentation gauntlets, for new members to get them excited about being a member of CAG and joining Klindom and Klingon culture in general. Of the accessories, my favorite is the holster, because the holster itself really is pretty damn good, with the exception of the gold lame cording. But so total 6 out of 10 for this, the main piece of the armor and the pants, and a 4 for the whole package. If you were looking for super, super authentic, well, you're not going to find that for $179. You are going to have to do some work. But for someone brand new to Klingon fandom, this is a viable option. Even if you only had, with no modifications, you put all of this on together with a headpiece, you're still going to look like a Klingon, and it's going to make you feel like a Klingon. And no one's going to come up to you and go, that seam isn't right because blah, 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 blah. Because when you have 6 other warriors standing behind you with batlets and snarling at the snarky person, they have a tendency to back the hell down. Because there's nothing really, let's be honest, more intimidating at a convention than about 6 to 9 Klingon warriors standing around in full character. So, behalf of myself, Lieutenant Commander Kevash Sutai Reshtok, the IKV Veklar Bay in Jacksonville, Florida, CAG, all the way, Klingon Assault Group. Look into it, and again, we'll post you the links. So, in a second, Philip Newton, Fate, whatever you want to call him, is going to explain more in detail the actual sewing part of all of this. I just know what looks good, and I know what I want, and he makes it happen because he is an amazing, amazing quartermaster and tailor. So, hold that thought.
Hello, I'm Philip Newton of the Veklar Bay, and I'm the quartermaster. And I will simply go over what he's already shown you and discuss the changes we'll be making. Start simply with the neck piece here. The gold foil cloth is simply going to be replaced with a simple piece of appropriately sized and length copper tubing, which has been polished and probably sealed so that it will hold its shine, and that should solve that problem. Because we live in Florida, the houndstooth, well, it's fairly acceptable for most parts. It is a little warmer than necessary. So what we're probably going to do is replace it with a net undershirt of the type for sports designed to be worn under uniforms and keep the players cool. Attach the sleeves to that, and then attach the front piece of there should be a front fur piece and a metal plate undershirt piece here, which will just be in the front, the netting will then, of course, keep the vinyl from being directly against the skin and help it breathe a little and keep it a little cooler. The accessories, starting with the holster, while this would make for a fabulous Klingon, just taking it off and replacing it with a simple piece of chain. If the loops are here, the chain will just hook around there. You can get the length more appropriate to you, because for most people, ride on the hip, and in most pictures it's supposed to ride lower, so you actually need longer. So that's an easy change. For the gloves, the easiest alteration is just to take a piece of thin leather or vinyl and make the, I'll call them claws, I'm not sure the exact term. Claws, and on a flat piece, and then attach it to the top either with glue or sewing, and they would become perfectly serviceable for the look. The gauntlets, while they have this odd-looking gold piece, it actually worked very nicely if you have a pin similar to this, simply placed in the middle, or more ambitious. I'm going to get a little closer so you can see. Just attach something like this and glue it down, and it will look like it belongs there, and add a detail to the gloves to make them look better. And the belt we're simply going to replace a simple leather belt of that width and hopefully make a decent looking belt buckle for it and actually have an actual belt. The uniform does include belt loops, so it will make it much more functional than trying to hook that behind the back. I will point out that the outfit is a complete outfit with no pockets. So if you're planning to wear it to a convention or something, be prepared to, probably the easiest way is on the belt for the pants. Simply get several appropriate looking pocket pouches and attach it, something military looking.
So for someone who says, "Oh wow, this is really cool for $179, I want to go ahead and buy this," the alterations that we're talking about, because ultimately, all of us nerds are all about the money. So $179, you've already got your thing.
Mm-hmm.
The alterations that we're talking about, just the basic ones, not the cloak and everything, but just the basic alterations we're talking about would probably run what? Another extra
$45 to $50, depending on where the material you use for the belt and where you get it. If you buy new leather and that width, it could run anywhere up to $20, $25. But
you've got a good quality.
You've got a good quality.
It's going to last. You can use it for other uniforms.
Yeah. Then if you go to a surplus store or a thrift store and find an appropriate wide, they're typically women's belt that you can disassemble and use apart, it could run you less than $5.
Exactly.
So it's all depends on you, and none of it is particularly difficult. The hardest part would probably be making the belt buckle.
Oh, and we were going to talk too about the gorget. That you might want, because the rank pins are not going to sit on that.
They're in the screen used. There is a gorget of basically leather with, it's basically two padded semicircles that simply attaches around the neck and with a few details on it. It shouldn't be that difficult for someone to make, and it gives you some place for the rank pins to go.
So from a quartermaster standpoint, a tailor standpoint, we've already given because I like wearing it and this, that, and the other, and it's going to look even more badass once it's complete with the trim around the everything. From a tailor's standpoint, 1 out of 10 for the whole package, and then 1 out of 10 specifically for the pants and the main part of the armor. In your opinion?
For the quality, for the whole package, the belt and the handle on the thing knocks it down, but I'd still give it about a 5.
Are they going to feel like a Klingon when
if you put it together, you're going to look appropriate from 10 to 15 feet.
Right.
With the houndstooth and everything else, you could, if you were an extra on a Star Trek episode, you'd look right.
Right. Or maybe even a photo shoot if it wasn't up close.
If you're not up close, it's no close-ups, no detail shots. It's going to look right, especially if you're in a crowd of other people. What does need to be corrected is fairly simply corrected and shouldn't be that expensive or difficult for anyone to do. The most difficult thing is probably going to be the belt buckle.
So you said 5 out of 10 for the whole package, and for specifically the pants and the armor and shirts.
For specifically the pants and the armor, I would give them 7, verging on an 8 for the shirt. Probably because of the houndstooth, it's not the appropriate, but it still looks right. So it could be a 6 or 7 easily.
Hopefully that is an extensive enough breakdown for you, aspiring warriors, warriors that are already members of CAG and want another uniform that perhaps you don't want to spend an arm and a leg, and still have something that's different from your normal kit, and with the addition of the makeup and the headpiece and everything, I have no doubts that a new member of CAG, someone who is brand new to Klingdom, they've wanted to be a Klingon their whole life, if you put everything together with a headpiece and the makeup, if you put everything together that comes with this full package and you put it on, you will feel like a Klingon, and your persona that you're going to develop will blossom, partly because of, you know, your armor and what you're wearing. And you can always personalize it, make things a little bit different. And these are just, you know, some of the suggestions that we've talked about that we're going to do with this particular kit. So on behalf of the IKV Veklar Bay, myself and our illustrious quartermaster, Philip Newton, or Fate, depending on how well you know him, I can probably see myself purchasing some of his other Klingon items that he has. My Parmakai, as a matter of fact, Makara, she was debating on whether or not he has a version of a female style dress similar to the Lursa Betor outfits, and she was sort of, well, I want to see kind of how this goes and how. But if the majority of the female outfit is this same stuff, that runs about, was it $239, $250, something like that. If it's anything like this, I would say just for the dress part alone, it would be worth it for the females. What I'm probably going to do, like I said, is take the gauntlets, use those as part of a classic Imperial hybrid for Sundays or casual days when I really don't feel like putting all the bullshit on. So, yeah. This is our first video, probably of many as we proceed. So, all I can say is look it up on eBay. It's Lotahk, and we'll put the link down here. So, kapla! Bash!